Good morning. Welcome to Exploring Economic Development with MEDC. We are here for episode 47. Good morning.
47.
I had to look really quick. What episode are we? 47.
I know, 47. We've been doing this now for
4 years?
I know, I was going to say 3, maybe coming on 4 years.
So much fun. I was just saying earlier, though, that we don't do it every month anymore, so it almost feels like there's a lot of time in between, but it means that all the guests we have, they're just that much more impactful.
Exactly.
Right.
We're very strategic and intentional about who we bring on.
That's right.
So our last episode was right before the elections, and we talked a lot about question 5, and we are so thrilled. Sorry, I just jumped in here with that. I was just really excited about it.
Yeah, so last episode for 46, we had on Jess from the MRA.
Yes.
We talked a lot about question 5, restaurants, go restaurants, and question 5 was defeated, which was wonderful. That was the goal.
No on question 5.
No on question 5. That's right.
Yes.
And it was interesting because at first, when they first started doing the polls about it way back when, it was the other way.
Yeah.
And the groups like the MRA and a lot of other groups, Phantom Gourmet, a lot of restaurant groups that came together, our own Marlborough Restaurant Association, and really the restaurant owners and the servers came together to educate the public on that, and it was such a grassroots, really cool thing to watch.
It was great.
And it really swung the other way and was defeated pretty overwhelmingly.
Yeah.
Which was great.
It was great.
It was great. So anybody that missed that episode, if you'd like to catch, the background about why did we vote no on question 5, things like that, please check it out because it was pretty interesting to hear from the restaurant perspective on why they thought it was going to be a bad thing if it did pass.
Yeah.
So
speaking of, we are streaming today on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube, also at our local cable access channel, WMCT TV.
Which is going to be a upcoming guest on one of our future podcasts. Yeah, I talked to Ryan. He's excited to come on at some point. So that'll be upcoming in 2025 at some point.
Awesome. Yeah. That'll be so great to hear from him. We're also on Spotify. So if you're watching us live, you can comment and we'll be able to see that and potentially integrate it into the show. And if you're watching us on the replay, we've got our contact information below. We would love to hear from you. If you have questions.
We want to hear from you.
We want to hear from you. You can let us know. We'd love to hear from you. Sorry,
Absolutely.
A little alert there. Yeah.
So without further ado, we should jump into episode 47.
Yes.
We have a really special guest today, Katie Perry, not the Katie Perry, but our Katie Perry
Our
here
amazing
in Marlborough, right?
Katie Perry.
With Technium. So Katie, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
And we're going to talk about a really cool program. We want to hear about Technium. You're one of our awesome IT companies here over on Donald Lynch Boulevard. So we want to hear about what you guys do and all the things that are going on at your company. But we also, not to spoil alert, but we're going to talk about a really awesome program between Marlborough Public Schools and Technium that you guys have going on, which I think is just absolutely incredible. But before we get to that part of the show, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, how you got into what you're doing now?
Of course. Again, thank you very much for having me. I'm excited to be here. My background, I spent about 11 years in higher education working at SNHU, WPI. I also, during that time, had my own business, which allowed me to work with financial institution, manufacturing companies, farm, agriculture, security, litigation experts. It was very nice. I then transferred into IT at Technium, which I've been at the company for about 7 years. When I started at Technium, I entered as a marketing manager. Due to my background in education, my degrees, executive education, I was able to take a journey and take opportunities that were given to me, ones that I advocated for. And now I'm a vice president at the company, and I'm very pleased to be at Technium. It's a phenomenal company to work for.
And they're lucky to have you, and I know that they know that. Absolutely. So tell us, I didn't know all that about you, by the way, that you owned your own company, and that's really cool. That's awesome.
When I had my first child, I have 2 kids, 11 and 12. When I was on maternity leave with my daughter, I was very bored. So I started just doing contracting work, and it allowed me to dip my feet in different industries.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yes.
So tell us about Technium. So you guys are over on Donald Lynch Boulevard, IT company. What does that mean? I mean, everybody knows an IT company, but I don't think anybody really knows. I mean, you guys, when we went over to visit, it was talking about the network and all these things. It's really very intricate. And can you tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing over there?
Yes. So Technium, actually, this year we celebrated our 25th anniversary. So we've been around since 1999, still owned by the same 2 co-owners who sit as our CEO and COO. So they are phenomenal.
They're great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Technium, we actually were located in Maynard for many years. And then when COVID hit, we actually decided to downsize our office and entered Marlborough in 2021. As a company, for 25 years, we have not strayed from what we do. And what we do is secure and optimize cloud-connected networks. What that basically...
What does that mean?
I was going to say, so what does that actually mean, right? So it means your business, such as the MEDC,
Yep.
if you're sitting in your office, but you have 5 employees sitting elsewhere, when you guys are interacting, sending emails, uploading to the cloud, you want to make sure all of that is secure.
Right.
You want to make sure all of your data in motion is confidential, is available to those that need it, but has integrity at the end of the day.
Super
So what
important.
Technium does is we build your network, we help with your infrastructure so that your business is protected while it's connected.
Okay.
A great example, a few weeks ago, Hannaford Stop and Shop had a security incident. That is due to the network. It's due to maybe a firewall being down, and so a hacker was able to get in. It was due to something not being configured correctly or not looked at in a timely manner.
And so what can that mean for companies?
Yeah, so what that means for companies is that when you work with service providers, some set it and forget it. They set you up, say you're protected. Technium does not. We're always looking at your network. We're always upgrading it. We're making sure that you have path A and path B, just in case if path A all shuts down, your company is still up and running with path B, which
Okay.
is very nice, so that you're not losing any operations for your business.
So it's really a hands-on approach. Like
Yes.
you're with you when you have a client, you stay with your client through the issues, right?
That's correct. Technium is very customer centric, and I fully believe that's why we've been around for so long.
Sure.
If you were to call Technium at 2 a.m. because your firewall went down,
Yep.
you would speak to one of our engineers.
Wow.
At 2 a.m. and they would assist you because they know what your company is, what the case is about, and that is how we work with our customers.
Yeah, so it's really specialized.
Yes.
Yeah. How many employees do you guys have?
Right now we have about 55 team members that are
Okay.
across the globe.
Okay. And so not all 55 are here in Marlborough, right? You've got
No.
people that are all over the place.
Correct.
Right. All right. So you came here in 2021. Do you like being here? Do you guys like Marlborough? Was it a good move for you?
I think this was a phenomenal move for us. This was, since being at Technium, we were in Maynard. We were in Southborough for a couple of years. I then moved to Marlborough. Out of all the 3 cities I've been in with Technium, Marlborough is the first one to really reach out to us, interact with us, and that makes a huge difference. And I will say I fell in love with the city of Marlborough because I started working with the MEDC
That's awesome.
through Technium.
Thank you. It was one of our business outreach meetings, and we've been doing this for probably 12, 13, 14 years at this point, where we go with the mayor's office out to our companies to try to get a feel for what are you doing, what's going on in all these buildings when we drive by them every day, what are the things that are happening behind these walls, but also how can we help you, and how do we make sure that you guys are able to do the things that you do, which I love the explanation, but a little bit of it goes right over my head, but making sure that you are the experts in what you're doing and that you're able to do it and do it well.
Yeah.
And if you have an issue with whether it's roads or connectivity or anything that the city can help you with, that's the whole reason why we have that outreach program. And it really was one of those things where I think you guys popped up somewhere for some reason.
We won an award.
Okay, there it
yes,
is.
and that is how we
Major
got on
award,
your
right?
radar. Yes.
It was a major award. And so that's where we were like, oh, who is this company? We've never heard of them. Let's get out there and meet them. And it started this wonderful partnership that has now gone on for several years and has gone in, and not to, again, we scratched the surface a little bit, but let's get into it. I mean,
Yeah.
I think one of the most amazing things, we talk to companies all the time and we try to hit at least, my goal is to talk to at least 8 companies a month, but then also to have with the mayor do at least 2 companies a month. So that ends up being about 24, 25 companies a month with the mayor's office. And so it's a lot. We're talking to a lot of people every day. And one of the biggest things we hear is that as long as they can attract the employees, it doesn't matter what industry it is or where you are in the city, if we can attract the employees, we're more apt to stay in the city and grow here. And we heard the same thing from you guys. And it was, we're I don't want to say struggling, but yeah, it was like we don't really know. There's not a huge pipeline for this industry, and how do we build that? And that's what started the whole conversation around, okay, maybe we can do this work-based learning, which started with Patriot Ambulance at Marlborough Public Schools. And the catch with the Patriot Ambulance program is that they were coming out of the program with a certification. And we always struggled a little bit of like, okay, not every industry has a certification that you can come out of a program with that. But you guys really came to the table with this unique perspective of you don't have to have a certification, but these are the things that we need from the students in order to then come and be a part of our company. So tell us a little bit about how that came to fruition. Technium Cyber Camp is what it was called, but you guys really were unique in the sense of being creative and innovative with how to put the program together. So.
Yes, so it actually stems back to our meeting with you, Meredith, the MEDC, and the mayor, welcoming us to the city. And then really our CEO, Mike Joseph, him and the former mayor started chatting about education as a whole.
Oh, I remember this story, yes.
Our CEO fully believes that not every human needs to go to college in order to be successful in their career. And I agree with that as well. So after talking with you and the former mayor and connecting us with the Marlborough Public Schools, we were actually able to develop Cyber Camp, which essentially is for high school seniors in Marlborough High School. They can apply, we accept them, and they go through a year-long program that's also tied to their class schedule, so it's not extra work fully. And they go through, they get to shadow individuals in our industry. They actually learn and work towards work towards a Cisco certified support technician certificate, which allows them to have the very baseline of networking. And when it comes to IT, cybersecurity, the industry, there's a million things under that umbrella. Networking is the foundation of all of it. So the students that go through our program get experience with foundational networking. Have a certificate that they get to obtain, pass a test. If they do obtain it, it goes for course credit if they go to college. They also have the very first certificate in the Cisco series. So they then
they're in the path.
Correct. They can build on it on their own time with their school or with their employer, whatever path they take after high school. So with Cyber Camp, after being able to talk to the school, it really was bringing together the CEO's idea, my passion for just wanting to help every human I meet be better, make their dreams come true, help them just along the way. And then with our director of HR and training, Amy Rout, and our senior technical trainer, Jim Looney, we built Cyber Camp.
It was the first, so we talked to a lot of companies about, do you want to go down this path of work-based learning, and you guys like really showed up. You showed up to the table with this package of, you know, and a lot of times we're trying to help them build it, and we sit with Dan Riley and try to figure out what does this look like and what do the students come away with. You guys did not, you did the work for us.
Yeah, we showed up because Technium has a just cause, which is providing opportunities for those that want to be in this industry. So for our team members, launching Cyber Camp gives them an opportunity to teach, to train, to build the next generation. For the Cyber Camp students, it's the opportunity to enter the industry or to get an understanding of it so that when they go to college or their next step, they might have a better idea of what path they want to take within the industry.
Or if they even like it, right? I mean,
correct.
That's another
or if
thing
they even like it. That is
before investing all of that money and all those student loans into really diving into a program, like they're able to learn about the vast opportunities under that networking umbrella. And cybersecurity umbrella, and then decide, okay, is this for me? Is this not for me? Or you know what? This is lighting me up. This is, you know, I need to lean into this all the way.
And we also introduce them to the other departments in our industry, because not every person in the IT industry is an engineer. You need marketing, legal, finance, sales. You need all those roles. So we also make sure the students get to meet those individuals, because you could have a passion for IT, but it might not be setting up firewalls or configurations. It might be the marketing piece of it, telling the story of it. And so just exposing more individuals to the industry, because our industry right now is reaching 2.5 million with job gaps.
So meaning that you need
we need
2.5 million
more
people.
And
that's across the board, right?
That's across the board. We all know that everything's moving to the cloud. We're using more apps on our phone. We're not using pen and paper as much. So all those things have to be protected when they're out there on the internet. And so companies that work with Technium, you can stay protected. However, you need people to protect
Right.
those. So we need to fill those jobs. And with this industry, the reason, Meredith, we were able to build such a great package for Cyber Camp, we already, for 25 years, knew that in our industry, it's all about hands-on learning.
Right.
You could have a college degree from an elite university in cybersecurity, in computer engineering. It does not mean you actually know how to do the hands-on keyboard job
Yeah.
to set up a new firewall, troubleshoot it, take it down, and fail it over to firewall B.
Wow. I love
You were
what you're
tracking all of that. Right, Meredith. I mean,
It's
I
so
totally was.
specialized. It's so interesting to hear you talk about it because obviously you're really passionate about what you're doing in the company and all the things, and I love that. And I love that about you. And every time we've asked you to get involved in teaching the next generation, you can tell that you really enjoy doing that. And we had Technium come to last year. We did a career fair with the chamber as well. I think we might have a couple pictures, but you guys were great at that too. And really trying to share your passion for the industry with the next generation of people that are coming up. It shows in everything that you do and everything that you say. So really kudos to you for being able to present it that way. But
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Just don't ask me to build a firewall. That's
Me
where I
neither.
draw the line. That's when I call up the wonderful engineers
I
at
love it.
Technium.
So when this is it, you think it's important for like when we think about IT and the cloud, a lot of that feels like not in person. But what you're saying is that a lot of it is in person and that it is hands-on training. Is that true, or am I misunderstanding that?
Yeah, so in-person remote, but it's with someone, I'll say.
So you're
Yeah,
communicating
so the
directly.
hands-on training piece is actually getting out of the book, getting out of the classroom, going into a system, a lab environment to
Got it.
test, going into our Technium office to actually reconfigure a piece of hardware.
Right, okay.
Physical touch.
Right.
So those things are what make it different because it's not all theory.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We're actually putting it into your hands.
Right.
You can see where your mistakes were, those type of things. And that is the difference because with IT, until you get in it, you can't actually do it.
Right. Right. And it's so complex, right? I mean, there's
Yes.
so much to it. There is.
Yes.
So do you guys find that, I mean, the technology continues to change all the time, right? And there's new things. I mean, my mind immediately goes to like AI and Chat GPT and all these things that I know everybody else utilizes and I still don't. But do those things impact the work that you're doing? And you guys must have to keep up with the trends and be constantly learning yourselves. And then you're kind of putting this knowledge onto the next generation of folks as well.
Yes. So in that case, we always are just cause. We provide opportunities for our team members to always learn. So that is always on par so that we're on top of those new technologies.
Yeah.
We also, though, that's where I would say I would caution individuals to not jump to every shiny object that is now entering this area.
Yeah.
AI has actually been around for a while. Technium has been using AI for security operations for a few years now. So we have integrated it in order to use it for value.
Okay.
But just implementing AI to check maybe your network logs, you still need a human to action them. You need a human to actually see if it's a normal thing or something that actually could cause harm or risk at the end of the day.
Right.
So I would urge companies not to just rely on the shiny tool. You actually need the understanding of it, the expertise.
Right.
Because again, most people will set up that tool and then forget all about it.
Right.
And that right there is now an IT risk because nobody's actually looking at it.
Well, and there's, I think anybody that's watching, like, you don't know how much you need your IT people until you need your IT people,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
Like, until there's a problem and you're saying, okay, what do I do now? Or how do I know that I'm secure? And what's the risk? And what do we do? So it's you see more of these webinars and trainings and all these things that are happening. And it is really important for people to be secure because, I mean, bad things can happen, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can receive an email and your team member employee clicks the link and all of a sudden
you're down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is correct.
And that's huge for especially companies. And so how many clients do you guys have? Is it like you have a small group of clients? Is it really large, or what does that look
so
like?
our main clientele is for managed services,
Okay.
which is ongoing network maintenance, all those things. We have about 56 clients right now, customers right now
Okay.
that receive ongoing services. We also, though, have customers that work with us for projects.
Okay,
And of
project-based.
course, we hope that they'll continue to work with
Sure.
us so that we can operationalize their network. But project-based, that also ranges from about 20 to 100 customers per year. It varies, obviously.
Right. Awesome. It's so interesting. I love learning about all these different companies. But all right, so let's go back to the cyber camp a little bit. We keep going off track because it's such an interesting topic.
yeah.
But so you guys ran the first year of cyber camp last year.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that. We've heard about the vision. I remember it's funny, I forgot about that conversation until you just brought it up, but it was, Jill remembers it well, of Mayor Vigent was talking at one of the graduations about how not every student needs to go to college.
right.
And the school committee was not really thrilled that he made those comments, but he was really in his glory that day at the meeting, because it was him and Mike were talking about how not everybody is meant to go to college
Right.
or is really going to benefit from going. You have all these student loans and you come out of it. And so I think that idea has become more accepted as time has gone on, but it really was an interesting moment between the two of them to have this shared idea of we can create different pathways or different opportunities for our students. And by not doing so, we're almost doing them a disservice. And so these programs, that's really where we globbed onto it at MEDC with the Marlborough Public Schools, was to create additional pathways. And it really has been amazing to watch that unfold. But
Absolutely.
anyway, so this was last year. You guys did the first program. Tell us a little bit about how it went and, all that good stuff.
And as you talk about that, just so our viewers know on the screen, if you're just listening, we have our program of studies from Marlborough High School. So this is one of currently of 3 work-based learning programs, soon to be growing.
And I have to say, and not to get too lovey-dovey about, it's one of my favorite things that we do here in Marlborough. It's such a unique opportunity. Like I wish when I was in high school that there was this type of opportunity. And I think kudos to Marlborough Public Schools, to Dan Riley, to Mary Murphy and Mike Bergeron before Mary, all these people and Mayor Vigent come together to say, this is really important and let's really think outside the box about how we can do these different types of things. And Mayor Dumas has now continued with that vision of let's continue to create opportunities for the students, whether they're going to go do this or they're going to go to a 4-year college, or there's so many different things you can do. But having the support of the school system to do these things is just huge. It's
Absolutely.
huge. So anyways, I'll stop talking. We'll give the microphone back to Katie here to talk more about the program itself and how amazing it was last year.
Yeah, so last year we had 3 high school seniors go through the cyber camp program. It was our first year, so we did learn a lot along the way, which was great. Out of the 3 students, we actually had one individual pass the CCST that I mentioned.
Yep.
And we also ended up offering her a position at Technium.
That's incredible.
Yes, and that was a conversation. She was not wanting to go the college route right after high school. She's actually thinking about it for a little bit future in her life because she wants to get the experience. So
yeah, there's nothing stopping you from going to school later on too, right?
Yes.
You get the experience, or you gain the exposure to something and then know what you want to do.
yes, so that was a success for us to be able to hire her as a gate engineer, a 1-year commitment so that Technium and herself can be successful and then reassess. The other 2 students ended up going to college.
Okay.
They were very grateful for the exposure. They were able to find a better path within the industry.
So success right there.
Yes, what they liked, what they didn't like. And then internally for our team members, it was great exposure to impacting someone's life, to inspire the next generation. And throughout the year, they also got to be able to hear live stories about real security incidents, about things that are happening. And they were also able to go down to Boston and visit the premier data center, which is Markley. Markley is one of our strategic partners, and they are a phenomenal data center in Boston. Like I said, they're premier, they're world known, and our high school students were able to tour it as
must
part
have
of
been
cyber
incredible.
camp. Yes, because many people don't know that is where the internet is. And so you physically
You think the
can
internet
see,
is like not a, it's
correct.
not a real thing, right?
You can physically see the internet going into the ground. So it's really inspiring
Yeah.
when this theory of the internet, and we're sending and receiving, and it's instant downloads and connections. When you physically see that it's not just all theory, it makes a difference, because then you actually start thinking about how it works, what you do on technology,
Right.
and the impact of it.
Well, it's tangible, right? You
Yes.
can actually physically see it, which is kind of
The
weird.
students'
Yes.
eyes. So I was able to attend that field trip as well. And I mean, I was blown away. And those kids were all blown away. And the questions that they came up with, and they were just so intrigued. And I remember one thing that they kept reiterating or kept bringing up were all of the redundancies. So like all of the backup to a backup, because like this can't go down. And if this goes down, this is where it goes. And this is how many millions of dollars are spent to make sure that there is this backup, even if it's never used.
Yes.
But how important it is. You were talking about redundancies in
Yes.
your field of work, like specifically at Technium, but in the larger picture, yeah.
Yes. Imagine, I'm going to make this up. Imagine Netflix. Imagine if Netflix did not have a backup, and if Netflix went down.
Well, didn't it
What
happen
would the
during,
company
wasn't
Netflix?
there a-
wasn't
there
there
a
during the
recent
Mike
event?
Tyson fight or something?
That is correct. So that was a
Yeah.
bandwidth issue.
Yeah.
They didn't have enough bandwidth for
look
the
at the-
incoming traffic. But if you work with Technium, we actually can assist with that to make sure that your bandwidth fits your traffic and your needs.
But look at how that
Reach
was
out to
amazing, by
Katie.
the way. But look at how much of a disruption that was.
Correct.
Like
Yeah.
worldwide, everybody was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Yes.
Like it had such an impact
Right.
because people couldn't get it to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
And so
wild.
those are the things that when you have a strategic partner that thinks about your
Right.
connectivity and how it actually affects your business operations, it can make all the difference.
in the world.
Absolutely.
Wow. All right. So, how many students did you actually have that came to the Technium Cyber Camp? I think it was only a handful, right? You had one that you guys actually hired, but you said it was about 5 students that went through the program.
So last year it was three
Three
students.
students,
This
okay.
year we have 5
Okay,
students.
that's where I got that
yes,
number from.
which
Okay.
we're very excited about. So from last year, learning based off of the students' feedback, our team members' feedback, and then the leaders of Cyber Camp,
Yep.
we made some adjustments. So
Okay.
for this year, we actually made sure the students understood what the whole program was about, so that they could be truly invested. We also revamped some of our materials so that they received more hands-on learning,
Okay.
more time with the trainers, so that they could really get those concepts down
Yeah.
for configurations, for routing, for networking layers.
Okay.
Again, all helping for the understanding of networking and for them to pass the exam at the end of the year.
And so how often are they with you guys? Are they there every day? How many hours per day? It's part of their curriculum, right? So they're coming over. I don't know how do they get there? Do they get transported? They
Yeah, so it actually, we built it with the school and
Yep.
based off of student needs. So the majority of our classes, our time with them, are remote.
Yep.
Technium, we're a hybrid company.
Right.
So we are very used to teaching on-site or in remote environments.
Okay.
And we have a training department dedicated to just that.
Sure.
So our students, they probably have come into the office, I'll say once a month
Yep.
so far, so that they could either do hands-on things,
just see it.
meet and greet our team members. In February, they'll be going down to Markley to see all of that as well. The majority of their classes, though, are online. They are led by Jim Looney.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, he's our senior technical lead. He's amazing.
great.
Yes, he's wonderful. He has a passion for it. And then they also get to meet with our CEO, our CISO, vice presidents.
Which is really important too, because that's the soft skill piece of it too.
Yes.
You need to
Absolutely.
be able to be in an office setting and communicate with people. And I mean, if you can't do those things, you will not be successful.
Yes, and also
Yeah.
as a 17-year-old and 18-year-old, being able to meet these people
huge.
at this level is huge, because we always emphasize add them to your network.
Right.
This is someone that if you keep in touch with can help you down the line.
Right. And they want to.
Yes,
Right.
just build that relationship.
Right.
Because if you think of an adult that is job searching right now, they don't have those connections with the VPs, the CISOs.
Right.
They might not have the connection to enter this industry.
Right.
And that's where we're trying to change that narrative. We're trying to build those connections sooner rather than later, so we can start that pipeline now.
So what kind of students, like if I'm a parent that's watching this or a student, who are you looking for? Is there some like a specific student that is watching this that could say, "Oh, that's me," or is it really anybody that could learn the technology if they put the time and energy into it?
I would say we are looking for people that are interested entering the technology cybersecurity industry.
Okay.
Because our program is built to expose you to all aspects of the industry,
Yep.
not just network engineering or security.
Okay.
We want you to understand there's
The whole thing.
Yes, there's business, there's marketing. Because I keep bringing up Jim. Jim was an engineer.
Yeah.
He was a senior network engineer. He reached a point in his life he didn't want to do that anymore,
Yep.
and he moved over to training.
So cool.
Yes,
Yeah,
so there are
like,
many
there's pathways within.
Correct. Even
Yeah.
myself, I mentioned I entered as marketing, but through my own 7-year journey along the way, I was able to move into business operations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just being able to get your foot into the industry,
Right.
understanding what it is, understanding the variances of it, that is what we're looking for interest. We actually, based off of last year and this year, we are going to be revamping next year's program to maybe make it more teaching within the first half of the year and shadowing very specific what they would like to shadow the second half of the year. So we're actually
So you're
talking.
tailoring your program to meet the needs of the students in front of you.
Yes, that's
amazing.
what we're talking about right now,
Yeah.
because even with the 5 students we've had them now for about 4 months, I'll say. We've known them for about 4 months. We're seeing the differences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are seeing this person loves networking. We are seeing this person actually loves the communication
Yeah.
of the industry.
Yeah.
So this
So
year,
cool.
yes. So this year we're going to get the students' feedback again, so we can revamp it
And just
work
continue
with the
to build
school.
it.
Yes, continue to build it so that again, when these seniors leave high school, whether they're going to college, military, or just working, they have work experience under their belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a certificate. If they go the marketing route, maybe they have a PowerPoint, a flyer. They have something to add to their portfolio. And in today's work environment, it is about the experience you have. My career, I attended SNHU. I started working with customers at the age of 18 because of a professor, Tracy Dow, liked what I did in her class and offered some of her clients to me.
Wow.
I started building my career and my portfolio at the age of 18, which allowed me to be where I am today.
Yeah.
So the work-based learning, the getting the connections, adding to your resume, your portfolio, whatever it is so important in today's environment.
Yeah.
And I heard you say earlier too, like, what kind of impact did this have on your existing employees? Like, obviously, they enjoy being able. This is different, right? I mean, not every company is doing this type of work. And so, what are your current employees think about all of this?
Yeah, so our current employees, I'll say, love it in the sense that they get to share what they're an expert on.
Yeah.
So we're not just asking our CISO to present the security
Sure.
materials. We're asking our security manager. We're asking a security analyst. So it allows them, our team members, to advance their career.
Yeah, it makes them feel good about what they're doing.
It
too.
allows them to practice their public speaking,
Yep.
practice their knowledge, answer questions, which may advance their abilities as well. So it really exposes them, which again, they get to add to their LinkedIn, their resume. I teach for Cyber Camp. I instruct on security analytics for
Right.
Cyber Camp. So again, it's just another tool in their belt
Yeah.
that makes them that much better as a whole.
Well, and I think it makes you guys as a company too so much more appealing. You know, if somebody was coming and wants to start a career with you guys, like, look at the opportunities, and it's
Yes.
something that's different, and it's really kind of a cool way to give back to the next generation and the community. And I think that's really awesome. And the fact that you guys are evolving the program each year, and it's not staying stale, right? It's moving and being what it needs to be is really kind of cool.
Yes, because we know in this industry, it's always evolving.
Changing, right.
And working with customers, every customer's needs is
Right.
different. And so with CyberCamp, we follow our same methodology.
Right.
We have to review,
Be nimble.
assess, yes, and build it to be better. The same as a network.
Right.
You build it, you got to review it, make it better. We don't
Right.
set it and forget it. We're always trying to improve.
So don't set it and forget it. That's my takeaway.
Don't
from
set it.
today.
That
I
is
love
what
that.
we always say. Don't set it and forget it.
I love that.
It's almost like setting up your security cameras at home.
Yeah.
And if you did not change your password for 10 years,
Yeah.
someone might know your password at that point.
Right.
You might want to change that password every few months.
Good to know.
Yes.
Totally.
Things I'm going to do.
I've
when we're
definitely
done.
always done that faithfully.
That's really funny. All right, so believe it or not, we are actually bumping up against time. We've had so much fun talking this morning, but if speak to the other companies, right? So one of our jobs here at MEDC is to try to continue to find different industries and different companies that want to get involved in this work-based learning program or partnership with MPS. Obviously, it sounds like you guys have enjoyed the partnership, but if you were speaking to another company in the community, would you suggest that they go down this path or that they try to have these conversations?
And wait, before you answer that, just to tag on, like, it's because everything that you're sharing in my brain as an educator is like, these are all just wins for our students.
Absolutely.
Right? These are just huge opportunities for our students. It just sounds like a win-win-win-win-win. Like, why? Why is this so beneficial also to you?
And so you go teacher motive that's beneficial, which it is absolutely beneficial to students, but it's so beneficial to the companies too.
Right.
And that's another thing where, so my economic development brain goes to, when we're trying to attract companies to come and be a part of our community, what a unique and amazing thing that we can say to them, hey, if you're struggling much like everybody else across all industries to try to attract talent,
Hiring.
we have unique ways for you to try to build the pipeline right here in our community.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what I was going to say, Meredith, is it's so hard to find we work off of finding the right people for the right seat. It's very hard to find that, and especially if you have to have a unique skill set.
Right.
So for any company that is out there, I would strongly encourage them to have a conversation with the MEDC.
Yeah.
I would encourage them to explore the opportunities, and if they're ready to take that step to build a program, the benefits to the students is just what Jill said. It's huge. The benefits to the team members, like you said, Meredith, instead of having to attract that talent, build the talent.
Yeah.
Build it.
Build the talent. Because also through this program, we are now talking about tuition reimbursement. We're talking about other programs to not only, once we build that talent, to retain that talent, new and old.
And it's worth it for you guys. I mean, in the end, if you're able to build that, employee base and keep them, I'm telling you, that is, for my 10 years I've been here and all of these company meetings, that is the one huge takeaway from everybody across the board. It didn't matter what industry, the size of the company, small, big, large. It was, as long as we can attract and retain employees, we're good.
Yes.
And that's where a lot of, you see the Apex Center and the restaurant and the hospitality, where all of that, the ecosystem really plays a role in making sure that the companies are able to attract and retain the employees. And that's honestly what the crux of it, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
But amazing.
So great.
Thank you so much. This has been such a great episode. It's jam-packed with lots of information. So I would say to any companies out there that are watching that think, hey, I might be able to benefit, or I might be able to come up with a program, and a lot of times I said at the beginning, the hurdle was, a lot of times for the bigger life science companies or the labs, they have to be 18. So that was another thing that we kind of struggled with at the beginning. But I think you can get, unique. You can think innovatively about it. There's different ways to do it. And you guys were the prime example of a company that came to the table and said, we don't exactly have an EMT certification that you can walk away with. However, there's these other certificates and you can put something towards, and it can work. So you just have to think creatively about it. So again, any company that's watching, if you're interested in learning more about this program, please reach out. We want to talk to you. It will not only be beneficial to the students in our community, but to you as a company to help build your pipeline.
Absolutely.
Do we want to tease? So we have a larger conversation that we had back in,
It was this summer. It was August. Yeah.
Back in August, where we did bring in the CEO, Mike came in, and we had some folks that were really talking. Dan Riley sat around the table to talk in depth about this program and the student that is now working with you guys. And there's a lot of footage, but we're going to tease that is it a podcast?
Yeah. It's a video.
A video. Love it.
That's
It's a
going to
video.
be this conversation that we had, and then we're also going to be, so this is going to be on Marlborough Public Schools YouTube channel. We'll share it out and everything, but it's also integrating feedback from our students. So we had LaGrace and Luis that we were able to interview to talk about this program and talk about their experience working with Technium, working with Jim, and anyways, so that's going to be coming out at the end of this week. So we're
going to tease
once
it a
we
little
once
bit.
we wrap up here and
Yeah.
we say our goodbyes, stick around. It's just a couple minutes just to kind of give you like a preview of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. All right,
Katie, you're wonderful.
thank you so much.
Thank you for
so
having
much.
me.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. And
I
we-
hope you don't get too many Katy Perry jokes on your site.
No, just a couple. The comments are like filled with them. It's fine.
Wonderful,
It's fine. It's fine.
wonderful.
It's fine. They love you.
You're going to sing at the end of the podcast?
Please don't
No.
make me.
Oh, all right, all right.
That's when everyone will shut down.
Our viewership.
Down. Anyways, all right, this has been so much fun. It's been educational, it's been exciting, it's been interesting, but it's also just been a lot of fun. So thank you so much for joining us this morning, and thank you to all of you for joining us this morning. And please make sure if you want to catch the replay, reach out, let us know how we can help you, and we will catch you for episode 48 at the beginning of the year. This is the last one for this year, so we look forward to bringing in 2025. Have a great Wednesday, everybody. We'll see you next time.
So the vision of the program really came from the idea that we in the IT field, particularly in the network and security field, have found that we don't really see colleges or those types of programs really producing the types of skills that we need. So we've been actively developing programs inside of Technium to train people and train all ages really on the field. And we realized that this is something we could start much younger with. And when we heard about the possibility of interacting at a much earlier level with a pathways type program, as we learned that it could be, this was really exciting because it's something I would have liked to learn about when I was 17 years old. And it was a really exciting opportunity that has been really brought to life by the program.
At MEDC, our role is to bring businesses into the community. And probably about, I would say maybe 5 or 6 years ago at this point, under the former administration, Mayor Arthur Vigent, one of his big things was how do we really connect these companies that we're bringing into the city with the schools and make sure that the students know about the opportunities that are available, and also how do we create pathways for them to come out of school and go directly into the companies that we're bringing into the city. So it started with a very simple business outreach meeting where we went to Technium to kind of say, how you guys doing over there? Is there anything we can do to help you? And this was the ask of how do we, make more connections with the youth in the community. And so for us, it was really exciting to see a company engaged and really ready to pull the trigger on doing something like this in such a big way. And so we were excited about it, and we've had one before this program with Patriot Ambulance, where students were coming out EMT certified, and we were trying to think outside the box. We do have a lot of companies in the community that you have to be 18 or over in order to get into the, what they're doing, labs, things like that. But Technium was a perfect fit for this type of a program.
So what we are always looking for in education is how can we increase the relevance of what students are learning. And in the traditional model that many of us went through, it's like island hopping. Kids are going from one content area to another. And many times we hear from students and their families that they're not really seeing the connections to what they refer to as the real world. So what this opportunity provides us with is a chance for students to learn some real applicable skills, high-level skills that can take them into a high-level industry sector. And it's happening during their high school experience. So it's hopefully raising the level of relevance that they're getting out of their schooling experience right before they're ready to head off and make a decision on college, career, or the combination of the two, which is something that I think that's starting to increase